Sometimes
Thank you. Stephanie, what a pretty name. Oh, don't worry, he's not a baby. No. He's the reincarnation of my son, 40, and he loves a good taco, don't you, baby? Yes. You know, my daughter's trying to keep him from me. She's selfish like the father. I think we're missing a couple of gordadas.
They're coming right out.
Persephone. You're a good person, aren't you?
Yes.
You know, I just want love to understand where I'm coming from.
what you're looking for. Oh, and I don't know what to do. Hold back, let go. There is nothing more for me to show. You're hiding to breathe, running from me. Do you really wanna be in love?
Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday and it's a gorgeous day outside today. It's 70 degrees currently today on this Thursday, the 19th. The time is winding down, guys. Before you know it, it'll be New Year's Eve. I'm telling you, time waits for no one. All right, so if you're a hermit, you need to start getting a move on your groove. All right. Now, I have a few friends who tend to be hermits. Some of them have a good reason to be hermits. Others don't. Okay? The ones that don't are the ones that I'm talking about. Because in my view, a New Year's resolution has a lot to do with venturing out, getting some sunlight, fresh air, meet new people, try new things. If you're not open-minded like that, guys, you're going to be repeating another life of the same old stuff, stuck in a rut. Okay? Like I said, some people have a good, legit reason. Others do not. And the ones that have a valid reason, the only reason that's excusable is some physical ailment or health issue. That's perfectly understandable. But if you can walk on your 2 feet from point A to point B with no problems, then you have more than physical issues. You might have some kind of mental block issues going on that's preventing you from getting outside of this four wall that you call home. Before I continue, I'll be back with more, but I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers and to those people just visiting my channel for the first time. If you guys hear something, see something that resonates with you, then I say please consider on subscribing. If you do, please give me a thumbs up, leave some comments for me, and I'll be right back with more.
I'm not suggesting anything so complicated.
So, I was watching a couple of movies last night, and I felt this glob in my throat. And all I had to have to allow me to go forward and do my little fasting was about maybe a cup and a half of protein shake, right? I thought that would keep me away from getting hungry or even attempting to eat anything. But this glob in my throat said, you know, you need some chicken soup. So I had some more chicken soup, and then this morning, this big lob, I could feel it rattling in my throat. You know, like it had me like this, and it was just horrible. It was horrible. So I finally got rid of it. So I'm just arriving now at the gym parking lot. I'm gonna get my nice chest and tricep workout, and then I'm just gonna leave and come back this evening and just do my abs. Just do my abs this evening. It's too much to do chest and tris and abs. I'll do my chest and triceps because there's so much tricep movement going on when you're doing chest and tris. And I don't want to come back later to do either chest or tris. I'd rather come back later and do something that's totally different than hitting the same muscle group again. So here I go, guys. I'll touch back with you guys later on, possibly when I'm walking downtown and getting some fresh air in these lungs. These lungs need fresh air. See you guys back soon. Hi guys, hey, it's 8:55, and this morning on the way to the gym, I was talking about a subject pertaining to people who have similar lives as hermits. That means that they're so comfortable with staying at home that they forget that there are other things going on in the world. They created a comfort zone, okay? They created a comfort zone so they don't go out as much as you or I, okay? In my own life, I try to have a balance. I enjoy being in my home. I live in a very small town, so socializing in this town is quite different from where I used to live. I live 2 hours north of Tampa in a very small town. This town has less than 100,000 people, for sure. It's a very traditional town. The majority of people who live here are above 60 years old, okay? So it's very laid back. When I first discovered this town, it was when I was looking for a home because I didn't want to buy a home in the big cities. And I thought I could get more for my money, and I did. However, I find that living out here, I have far less friends or chances to meet people than when I was living in the cities. I'm a kind of person that I'm very sociable. I can make friends easily. I can start up conversations with someone I don't know. For example, if I'm in a store, like an antique shop, I can strike up a conversation about something that's interesting there because somebody there might have the same interest in that antique shop. That's just an example. Or I can strike up a conversation just going out for a walk on the boardwalk, or out on a bike ride, or out grocery shopping. It's very easy for me. I enjoy that. Other people may not be that way, okay? And I don't expect people to like everything I like and to not like what I don't like. I found myself in a situation where I'm living, even though it's not an over 55 community, the majority of people who live in this community are over 55 and over 60 very easily. When this community was built, a lot of the original owners are still living here. And many of them are in their late 60s, late 70s, 80s, and 90s. And a portion of this community was bought out by somebody who's buying the homes, the single-family homes, and renting them out. So therefore, you have younger families coming in. Okay? The people who live here, they're very, very simple. Very, very simple. I may or may not have something in common with people who live here. Okay? I do have a few friends here that are very sociable, and I have others who are not very, very sociable. I try to have respect for everyone. However, when you have people who are showing you interest in a friendship, some of them expect you to find what they enjoy doing interesting. I'm like this. If I know I have tomorrow off, or the weekend off, or a whole week off from work, my plan has nothing to do with staying in the house from 8 a.m. to at least 6 p.m. Those days, I'm going to be outside. I crave natural sunlight. I crave a nice breeze. I'm the type of person that I can enjoy a rainy day. Okay? I find that exhilarating, refreshing. If I see a town, or if I see opportunities to discover something new in a different town, I'll make plans to get up early, pack my bag, and get out of the city or the town where I live, and go check out this new thing that I've discovered. I enjoy that. I enjoy doing things different. I don't like doing the same old thing all the time. I don't like it. I like experimenting. After 6 p.m., I'm usually home if I'm not out of town. If there are festivals or functions or outdoor concerts, I'm going to be home by 9 p.m. I don't like huge crowds. Okay? But what if you meet someone or people that they want to be in the house 24/7? To me, it's like, Isn't that a lot like being in prison? I cannot sit on this chair for 10 straight hours and just be glued to the TV. I just can't do it. There are people who do just that. And they watch the same thing. Okay? Sometimes you might make a friend with someone who's hoping that you might have that in common with them. Okay? I give new friendships the benefit of the doubt all the time because they could be into something that's really interesting. Or it might be something in their past experiences that they've experienced. It could be something that they love doing, loved, past tense, that they could sit down and talk to you about, that you could find interesting. But however, if you got a new friend, you're not going to learn anything new with that friend, because once you're done talking about what it is you did in your past life or in your previous years, that runs out. When that runs out, when that conversation's done, it's done. There's nothing else to talk about. So with new friends, what can become more interesting is learning about what you can do together as a friend. And that may take venturing out, seeing new things, seeing new places. He or she may have a place that they can show you that you've never been before, or vice versa. Or maybe it's their favorite restaurant that they like, and maybe they've been bragging about their favorite foods. It's only when you're out of your element can somebody else learn more about you. They can get to find out firsthand what your likes and your dislikes are. Just not knowing in itself is exciting because you're uncovering something new about this person. But what if you have someone who's stuck in a rut and they don't want to venture out? Do you change a lifestyle to make them feel comfortable? I wouldn't. Because you're putting yourself in a situation that you might discover something that you don't like about this person. And then you're cutting it short. The growth that you can benefit from one another discovering something new is cut short. You're creating limits to your friendship. And you're not always going to hang around someone because they're the one that you're trying to have an intimate relationship with. Some people that you know, that you like as a friend, are not meant to be intimate with. There could be other reasons that this divine universe brought you guys together for. This person, you might have been brought to them because they need to get out of their rut. You need to be the catalyst or the firecracker in their ass to make a move. You know what I'm saying? When you have someone who's been doing the same thing day in and day out for many, many years, they've lost that experience and that refreshing feeling of having something to look forward to. They forgot what that's like. So now they do the same thing day in and day out. To these people, there's no difference between when the sun goes up and when the sun goes down. They're floating someplace there in between those two. Okay? It doesn't make a difference whether it's sunlight outside or there's a moon out. The inside is the same all the time. They look for the same thing. It's almost to have a fear of getting outside of their little world. And the reason that you might have been injected in their life is to remind them that there's more to life, more experiences. Sometimes these people were drawn to the same people that they were involved with intimate as well. So they don't need someone that's soft. They need somebody to be the firecracker. Okay? They need a catalyst. Someone that will get the gears moving in their heads. Somebody that will excite them. Someone that will make plans and say, hey, look, this is what's happening tomorrow. I would like you to come with me and check it out. You might like it. There are people who are afraid to leave those front doors. Okay? To me, that's a problem that could be a mental problem. It might be a personal thing with them. It might be a low self-esteem issue. Okay? They may be afraid of how they may appear to someone. Or it could be a bad experience that they had when they left their home to go check something out that's new. They may have had a bad experience. I think our roles would be like, hey, you know, the thing that happened to you a long time ago will never happen again. I'm sorry that that thing happened when you were asked by a friend to get out and enjoy something new and check this thing out, and you had a bad experience. It's very, very, very low percent that you're going to have a bad time or a bad experience every time you go out. Sometimes we can find ourselves in a place at the wrong time with wrong people. It doesn't mean that every time you go to a festival or a park or a restaurant that you're going to come across negative people. Negativity is everywhere, but it's how we handle it that determines our happiness and our outcome. Okay? We can use those bad instances and good instances and weed out the bad stuff and put that behind us and not let the bad things dictate how we're going to live our life every day that we wake up from our bed. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm trying to say. All these little things contribute to people becoming a hermit. People don't just wake up and say, I think I'm going to be a hermit today. I'm not going to go no place. I'm going to be in my little cocoon, and I'm not going to go out because I'm afraid that somebody might offend me. Somebody might put me down and say bad things about me. Okay? I once had a friend who was a correctional officer, and his brother was into law enforcement, and he was a correctional officer. His brother was always out and about in his state trooper vehicle, hitting the highways and pulling up people and helping out people. He met someone new every single day of his life. His life was very exciting, but there was a risk. Being in law enforcement, driving around at night in your car, there's a lot of dangers to be expected, okay? But you still have to take the chance because you're saving people from a dangerous situation, and you're taking bad people off the road that don't belong on the road. You're protecting society and making sure that people are abiding by the law. That's the nature of the job. His brother was a correctional officer. His job was different. He found himself working in a prison, seeing the same prisoners every single day. So he dealt with a lot of negativity. Over time, he was beginning to feel isolated. The very same people that he's managing, the prisoners, weren't going to change. So over time, he began to feel like a prisoner. He was locked up in the same building that the people he's there to manage are there for. He felt like one of them. So as time went on, his social skills started to dwindle. And his marriage started to suffer. He wasn't spending time with his daughter as much. And the things he enjoyed, he was not enjoying as much. The experiences were diminishing. Because what happened was the things that was happening in the prisons was starting to affect him. And when he would leave home, he would not go straight home. He would have to go in his car and go for a drive to try to clear out his mind, okay, of his horrible 8-hour shift. The communication between him and his wife and his daughter was suffering. He wasn't spending a whole lot of quality time. It was more like 40-hour working in this prison where he began to feel like a prisoner. So one day he went into work and he turned in his uniform. He says, I can't do this anymore because it's a great job. It's got great benefits, but I feel like I'm a prisoner. My quality life with my family has suffered. My marriage is on the rocks. So he then went into a sales position where his life took on a whole different scenario. In his new job as a salesman, he was meeting more people. He felt like he was truly helping people. And he was doing seminars, and he talked about his job as a correctional officer and what it caused him to be like. How in the beginning he was happy to have a good career with a good benefits and all that stuff. And he saw that as it went on, his social life was suffering. And he felt like he was in this prison just as much as the prisoners who were there. But now his social life has changed. He felt like he was contributing more. And he looked forward to meeting different people and helping people succeed. And he was out in the fresh air, out driving about. He was still making a great income. And he never looked back. He never looked back. Because he knew when he worked in this prison, he went from building to a house and never left. When his wife would ask him about getting together to go out as a family to a festival, the thoughts of the horrible things that happened in prison always stayed with him. He couldn't sleep at night. And he was afraid that if he continued that way, he was going to resort to drugs and alcohol to help him cope. Because a lot of his co-workers were going through the same thing. You know, in jobs like that, the turnovers are very, very, very high. And I just turned down an interview in a correctional facility for that simple reason. But anyways, I hope you guys can resonate with what I'm talking about. And if you know someone or some friends who have designed this inner world where they're stuck and they can't get out, and every day seems the same. The morning is the same as a nighttime. They never see the fluctuation or the change from the morning hours to nighttime hours. Everything's the same to them. And they're just stuck in a rut. If you're their friend, reach out to them and let them know that you're there. If they need you, you're available. But you can only try so much until it starts to affect you. So then you need to move on. A lot of times these people are trying to find someone to pull into their world with no plans on changing their outlook. Right? So anyways, I hope you guys have a nice evening, and I hope there were some takeaways from here. Leave me a comment or two. Give me a thumbs up, share, and I'd appreciate it. I hope you guys have a nice evening, and I'll be chatting with you guys very, very soon.